Good morning, my friend. This is Louise Hay, and I want you to remember something very important. Every word you speak is an affirmation. Whether you realize it or not, the way you talk to yourself and about your life is constantly shaping your reality. It does not matter if you are saying it quietly under your breath or shouting it in frustration. Your words are creative power in motion. I often say that our thoughts are like seeds, and our mind is the garden. Every word you speak, every phrase you repeat is a seed you plant for tomorrow. If you plant seeds of criticism, fear, and resentment, then weeds of limitation will grow. But if you plant seeds of love, trust, and gratitude, then your life blossoms into beauty, peace, and abundance. The soil never argues with you. It simply grows what you plant. That is why language is so much more than grammar or communication. Language creates atmosphere. It colors the air around you. It sets the tone for how you feel in your body, how you interact with others, and what you expect from life. When I first began exploring these truths, I discovered something so simple and yet so life-changing. Change your thinking, and you change your life. Many people wait for circumstances to change before they can feel better, but the truth is that you have the power to choose a better thought right now. Each time you choose love over fear, forgiveness over resentment, or gratitude over complaint, you shift your entire experience. Think about the words you use most often. Do they open doors or close them? Do they affirm your worth or deny it? Do they invite joy, or do they keep you locked in old patterns of disappointment? You see, the words you speak to yourself each morning may determine whether you face the day with enthusiasm or dread. The words you whisper before you fall asleep at night may decide whether you rest peacefully or carry fear into your dreams. When you begin to pay attention, you will notice just how many times you unconsciously affirm things you don't want. I can't do that. I never have enough. Nothing works out for me. These are affirmations too, and the universe simply hears them as instructions. But here is the good news. The moment you become aware, you can choose differently. You can replace those words with life-giving affirmations. I can handle this. I am open to abundance. Everything is working out for my highest good. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and the more natural it becomes, the faster your life begins to change. So let us begin here, today, with the recognition that your words matter deeply. They are not idle chatter. They are creative commands. You are the gardener of your mind, and today you can choose to plant joy. You can decide right now that the sentences you speak to yourself will build you up, not tear you down. Stay with me through this journey, because at the end, we will speak one powerful phrase together, a phrase you can carry with you starting today, one that can shift the way you talk to yourself and the way life responds to you. It only takes a few words, said with love and belief, to begin rewriting the story of your life. So many of the words that shape our lives are not even ours to begin with. They were handed to us in childhood, whispered or shouted by parents, teachers, siblings, or the culture we grew up in. Perhaps you heard, "You're not smart enough," or "Why can't you do anything right?" Maybe love and approval were given only when you performed well, behaved perfectly, or met someone else's expectations. These messages, repeated often enough, sink deep into the subconscious and become the voice you carry inside. As children, we absorb everything without filters. We don't have the ability to say, "Oh, that's just Mom's fear speaking," or "That's Dad's frustration, not the truth of who I am." Instead, we take it in as gospel. We believe it. And then we repeat it. If you were told you were clumsy, you may have grown up affirming to yourself, "I'm always tripping over things." If you were told you would never amount to much, perhaps that voice still whispers, "Why bother trying?" Even when the people who said these things are long gone, their words echo inside us like old recordings. This is the birth of self-talk. What begins as someone else's judgment soon becomes our own inner dialogue. We wake up repeating it, we carry it into our relationships, and we let it color our choices. For many, the message of "not good enough" becomes the soundtrack of life. And yet, here's the truth. These words were never about you. They were about the fears, limitations, and wounds of the people who said them. But because you were small and impressionable, you believed them and made them your own. The miracle is that we can unlearn these messages. We can rewrite the script, just as affirmations of doubt and shame took root in childhood. Affirmations of love and worthiness can take root now. The subconscious mind doesn't argue, it accepts repetition. If you say to yourself, day after day, "I am worthy of love simply because I exist," then slowly the soil of your mind begins to change. The old weeds of self-criticism loosen, and new blossoms of self-acceptance emerge. It is never too late to go back to that child within you and offer different words. Imagine looking into the eyes of your younger self, the little boy or girl who only wanted love, and saying, "You are enough. You are precious. You are safe with me." Every time you affirm this, you soothe the child inside who still remembers the sting of criticism. You begin to heal not only the adult you are now, but also the child you once were. Remember, the voice in your head can either be an echo of old pain or the sound of new possibility. You get to choose. Today, choose to release the words that wounded you. Let them dissolve like mist in the morning sun. Replace them with words that nurture, uplift, and honor your true self. Affirm now with me, "I am worthy of love simply because I exist." I release old words that wounded me. These affirmations are not empty, they are medicine. With every repetition, you are changing the atmosphere of your mind. You are planting seeds that grow into self-respect, courage, and joy. And just as you once repeated old phrases without question, you can now repeat new ones with intention. That is how the story begins to change. There comes a moment in life when we realize that power is not out there. Somewhere it is here, in the words we choose and the thoughts we think. For many of us, it feels easier to blame circumstances, other people, or even luck for the way our lives unfold. But the truth Louise Hay so often reminded us of is simple. When we take responsibility for our words and our thoughts, we reclaim our power to create. Responsibility is not about guilt or shame. It is about awakening to choice. Every morning, before the world places its demands on us, we have a blank page. What we say to ourselves in those first moments can either set the stage for peace or for struggle. If your first thought is, "I'm already behind," your body tenses, your mind races, and the day begins with pressure. But if your first thought is, "Today is a fresh opportunity, and I am grateful," notice how your shoulders soften, your breath deepens, and life feels a little lighter. Morning self-talk is like the sunrise. It colors everything that follows. The same is true at night. Evening thoughts close the book of your day and write the opening chapter of tomorrow. If you go to bed replaying mistakes, worrying about money, or criticizing yourself, you carry those vibrations into your dreams and wake up already burdened. But if you fall asleep whispering, "I am grateful for today. I rest in peace. I trust tomorrow," your body relaxes, your mind releases, and you invite your subconscious to spend the night in healing, not in fear. This is the responsibility we all carry, no matter our age or stage of life. We cannot always control what happens outside us, but we can always choose how we speak to ourselves about it. Complaints attract more struggle because they keep us focused on what is missing. Gratitude attracts peace because it shifts our attention to what is already working, already present, already a blessing. Each complaint plants a seed of frustration. Each thank you plants a seed of harmony. Which do you want growing in the garden of your mind? Louise often said, "What you give out returns to you." If you spend the day saying, "I never get a break," life seems to send more delays, more obstacles. But when you affirm, "Life loves me and supports me," doors open in places you never expected. Words are not just sounds, they are energy. They echo back to us through the experiences we create. Taking responsibility for your words is like steering the wheel of your own life. Imagine starting your day tomorrow with a simple practice. As you open your eyes, place your hand over your heart and say, I begin this day with love and gratitude. Then, before you go to sleep at night, repeat softly, I end this day in peace and appreciation. These bookends of love and gratitude are powerful. They frame your life with intention. Affirm now with me. I begin and end each day with love and gratitude. My words create harmony in my world. Every time you say these words, you shift the atmosphere of your life. You are no longer at the mercy of old patterns or external pressures. You are shaping your own reality, one thought, one phrase, one choice at a time. Responsibility becomes freedom because in claiming it, you remember you are the author of your day and your words are the ink. When we hear the word poverty, most of us think only of money, but Louise Hay often reminded us that poverty is not just about dollars in the bank. It is any sense of lack in our lives. Poverty thoughts whisper, I'll never have enough love, or I'll always be lonely, or nothing ever works out for me. Poverty thinking can show up in our relationships, our health, our creativity, and our self-image just as easily as it shows up in our finances. It is the voice that insists on limitation, the echo of old fears and cultural conditioning that tells us to expect less, to settle, to shrink. The opposite of poverty thinking is what Louise called power thoughts. Power thoughts affirm worthiness, possibility, and abundance. They sound like, I am loved and lovable. I am open to new opportunities. I deserve joy, peace, and prosperity. Power thoughts do not deny reality. They shape it. When you choose them, you begin to reprogram the atmosphere of your life. The shift is not about pretending things are perfect. It's about being willing to believe in a greater truth than the old story of lack. This shift begins with something simple but profound: willingness. You don't need to know how everything will work out. You don't have to have all the steps lined up. You simply have to be willing to think differently. That willingness is like cracking open a window in a stuffy room. Suddenly fresh air begins to move in, and what once felt stagnant starts to shift. Even the smallest willingness to replace I can't with maybe I can opens the door for life to support you. Think for a moment about the poverty thoughts you may have carried for years. Perhaps you've told yourself, I'll never be good with money, or I'll never find someone who truly loves me, or I'm too old to change. Now, notice how heavy those words feel in your body. They weigh on your shoulders, tighten your breath, and dim your energy. These are not harmless phrases. They are seeds that plant weeds in the garden of your mind. Now, let's try replacing one of them with a power thought. Instead of, I'll never be good with money, affirm, I am open to learning how to handle money wisely, and life supports me in this. instead of, I'm too old to change. Affirm, every day I am growing, and it's never too late for a new beginning. Notice how different those words feel, how they create a sense of space, possibility, and breath. Louise often taught that poverty thoughts keep us trapped because they are rooted in fear, while power thoughts free us because they are rooted in love. And love, she said, is always the healing answer. When you replace I'm not enough with I am more than enough, you are not just repeating words. You are declaring a new reality for yourself. Let's affirm together now. I choose power thoughts that uplift and support me. I release poverty thinking and embrace abundance. As you speak these affirmations, let them echo not just in your mind, but in your body. Let your chest expand, your shoulders soften, and your breath deepen. This is not just a mental exercise. It is a whole body shift into alignment with abundance. Here's your reflection for today. Think of one phrase of poverty thinking. You've caught yourself repeating something like, I'm always unlucky, or there's never enough to go around. Then, rewrite it into a power thought. Life always supports me, or I live in a world of endless possibilities. Write it down, speak it out loud, share it with someone else. When you do, you not only transform your own energy, you inspire others to do the same. This is the shift Louise devoted her life to teaching, moving from fear into love, from lack into abundance, from poverty thoughts into power thoughts. And it all begins with the willingness to choose a better word, a kinder thought, a more loving truth. Every one of us carries memories of hurt words spoken in anger, betrayals we never expected, or the quiet ache of not being seen or valued. These wounds don't disappear just because time passes. When resentment and pain are buried, they often find other ways to show up. They can manifest as tightness in the body, illness that lingers, or a heaviness in the spirit that makes it difficult to move forward. Louise Hay often reminded us that holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. In truth, we are the ones who remain stuck when we refuse to release the past. Forgiveness is not about excusing the actions that hurt us. It is about choosing freedom over imprisonment. When we forgive, we untie the knots that bind our hearts and open the doorway to love and healing. Forgiveness says, I will no longer carry this burden. I choose to put it down. That choice doesn't erase the past, but it frees us to live fully in the present. Just as importantly, forgiveness includes forgiving ourselves. Many of us carry old guilt, shame, or regret for things we did or did not do, for choices we wish had been different, or for times we felt we failed ourselves or others. These self-condemning thoughts can be some of the most damaging because they keep us at war with our own inner child. Healing begins the moment we extend compassion inward and say, I did the best I could with the understanding I had at the time. Now, I choose to love and accept myself. Take a moment to reflect. Is there a part of you, an old version of yourself, that you've been punishing in your thoughts? Perhaps the younger you who was scared, confused, or made mistakes. Imagine holding that part of yourself close, whispering words of love instead of criticism. Picture saying to them, I forgive you. I love you. You are safe with me now. This inner reconciliation can be more powerful than any external approval because it roots you in self-acceptance. When we begin to forgive, space opens up inside us. Energy that was locked in bitterness or self-blame is released, and that energy can now flow into creativity, health, love, and joy. Resentment keeps us stuck in the story of what went wrong. Forgiveness allows us to write a new chapter. The body responds, two muscles soften, the breath deepens, and a sense of lightness returns. Louise taught that healing isn't about perfection, it's about compassion. We don't heal by criticizing ourselves into change. We heal by loving ourselves into wholeness. Every time you affirm, I love and accept myself just as I am, you are rewiring your inner dialogue. You are teaching your mind and body that love is your natural state and that you no longer need to live chained to the past. Let us affirm together now, I forgive myself and others, and I am free. I love and accept myself just as I am. Say these words gently, as if you were speaking to a beloved friend. Repeat them until they begin to soften the places in you that have felt hardened. The process of forgiveness may take time, and that's okay. Every repetition of these affirmations is a step toward greater freedom. Here is your reflection for today. Think of one wound you've carried, a resentment, a regret, or a moment of pain. Write it down, acknowledge it, and then beside it, write an affirmation of forgiveness and self-acceptance. For example, if you write, I resent my father for not being there for me, your affirmation might be, I release the past with love, and I open my heart to peace. If you write, I feel guilty for mistakes I made, your affirmation might be, I forgive myself. I am learning. I am free. Healing old wounds is a sacred process. It takes courage, but it also brings incredible peace. Every act of forgiveness is an act of self-love. Every moment of self-acceptance is a step toward wholeness. And when you choose forgiveness, you don't just heal your own heart. You contribute to a world that is gentler, freer, and filled with more love. Affirmations are powerful, but their magic comes not only from the words we speak, it comes from the way we live them. You can repeat affirmations for a few days and feel a lift, but real transformation requires consistency. Just as the body grows strong through repeated exercise, the mind and heart grow strong through repeated devotion to loving thoughts. This is why Louise often spoke about affirmations as a practice rather than a quick fix. Each time you return to them, you are building a new foundation inside yourself. Living the truth of affirmations means carrying them beyond the page, the journal, or the quiet morning meditation. It means noticing the moments when old habits creep back: gossip, criticism, worry, self-doubt, and gently redirecting them. Instead of joining in when others complain, you might pause and silently affirm, I choose to see good in this situation. Instead of criticizing yourself in the mirror, you practice looking directly into your own eyes and saying, I approve of myself. This kind of practice anchors affirmations into daily life until they are not just phrases you recite, but truths you embody. Mirror work is one of the most direct ways to live your truth. At first, it may feel awkward or even uncomfortable, but the mirror doesn't lie. It shows you exactly where your resistance still lives. By standing in front of your reflection and affirming, I love you, I really, really love you, you begin to dissolve that resistance. You practice giving yourself the approval and kindness you may have longed for from others. Over time, these words sink in, and the mirror becomes a friend, a sacred space where you meet your true self with compassion. Gratitude rituals are another daily tool that root affirmations into real life. Begin and end your day with a short list of things you are thankful for: your breath, your bed, your family, your courage to keep going. Gratitude multiplies good, and when paired with affirmations, it strengthens your belief in your own worthiness. Saying, I approve of myself, while also saying, I am grateful for who I am becoming, creates a loop of self-support that grows stronger each day. Consistency is what builds momentum. The first time you say, I am worthy of love, it may feel shaky. The 10th time, it begins to feel possible. The 100th time, it feels natural. This is how affirmations work, through repetition, patience, and daily practice. You don't have to be perfect. You only need to be willing. A skipped day does not undo your progress. What matters is that you keep returning to the practice again and again with kindness toward yourself. Self-approval is the golden thread that ties all of this together. Without self-approval, affirmations feel hollow, as though you're speaking into a void. With self-approval, affirmations become living truths. When you approve of yourself, you walk with confidence. You attract healthier relationships. You open yourself to prosperity, and you begin to live from a place of authenticity. Louise often reminded us, when I approve of myself, life approves of me. Let us affirm together now, I approve of myself. Every day, I live more of what I teach. Say these words gently but firmly. Allow them to settle into your body, as if you are reminding your cells of a forgotten truth. Each time you repeat them, you are building a life based not on fear or doubt, but on self-love and self-trust. Reflection for today. How can you live your affirmations more fully? Could you practice mirror work in the morning? Choose to release gossip at lunch or write a gratitude list at night. Choose one simple practice and commit to it. Remember, transformation is not a single leap, but a series of small, consistent steps. Each step you take in approval and love leads you closer to the life you truly desire. As we come to the close of this reflection, let us return to the truth that has been with us all along. Transformation is not reserved for the lucky few. It is possible for anyone who is willing to change their thoughts, no matter your age, your history, or the stories you have carried. You can begin again right now. Each word you choose becomes a brushstroke on the canvas of your life. If you want a brighter picture, you simply begin to choose brighter words. Life is always mirroring back your inner dialogue. When you speak words of doubt, you experience situations that confirm that doubt. When you choose words of peace, you begin to walk through days that feel calmer. When you affirm your worthiness, people and opportunities appear to affirm it too. This is not wishful thinking. It is the law of life. What you plant in the soil of your mind, through words and thoughts, eventually blossoms in your experience. Think of your words as seeds of destiny. Every sentence you whisper to yourself is alive with creative potential. If those words are harsh, they grow weeds of fear and limitation. If those words are loving, they grow flowers of joy, abundance, and harmony. Love is the most powerful seed of all. It heals the past, it empowers the present, and it shapes a future filled with possibility. By choosing loving words, you align yourself with the greatest creative force in the universe. Now, let us affirm together, I create peace with every word I speak. I am safe, loved, and worthy. My future is bright because I choose loving thoughts today. Feel these words as more than sentences. Let them become your inner truth. Imagine them moving through every cell in your body, radiating out as golden light. Picture this light surrounding you, filling you with calm and extending outward to bless everyone you meet. Your words are not just for you, they ripple out into the world, creating waves of kindness, hope, and healing. Remember, this is a daily practice. You do not need to be perfect, and you do not need to fix everything at once. It is enough to choose one loving thought, and then another, and then another. Over time, this steady devotion creates a life that feels peaceful, joyful, and safe. With every word, you are building the future you desire. So I invite you now to step into your day with this intention. I choose power thoughts. Say it aloud, write it down, and carry it in your heart. Each time you affirm it, you are reclaiming your creative power and shaping a joyful future. If this message inspired you, share it with someone who needs to remember that their words have power too. And comment below with the phrase, I choose power thoughts. Together, we can lift our collective energy and remind one another that change begins with the words we speak, and love is always the final word.